Welcome to this week's episode of Analyzing Chazal. This week we'll be analyzing a Rashi on this week's parsha, Parshas Vayera. Let's start with the pasuk. The pasuk in Perek Yud Ches, pasuk Yud Beis, says as follows: "Vatitzchak Sarah b'kirba lemar, acharei v'lo si haisali edna v'adoni zokein." Sarah laughed, saying, "After I got old, I will become young again, and my husband is old." The explanation of the pasuk: when Sarah heard from the angels that she was going to have a baby the next year, she laughed and said, "Can someone old become rejuvenated and have a baby?" Rashi says, "Mistakeles b'me'el va'amra efshar hakrovayim halalu te'unim vlad." Sarah looked at her stomach and said, "Is it possible that these internal organs, her womb, can carry a baby?" The explanation of Rashi. Rashi explains that what caused Sarah her disbelief in being able to have a child was looking at her body and seeing that it was old and naturally can no longer carry a baby. The introduction to the question. Sometimes the question on a particular commentary only becomes evident when you compare it to a comment the same commentator had made earlier. Rashi had a question earlier, which was that when the angels first came, Avraham had asked Sarah to make bread, which she never served. The reason he gives for Avraham not serving the bread was that Sarah's period came back and the dough became impure. The type of question we'll be working with this week is the not seeing what is in front of them question. The not seeing what is in front of them question is that a person sees something that should catch their eye to know that something changed and they do not realize it. Let's stop the video for a minute. And with all the information we laid out, can you come up with the question? Here's the question. Sarah had looked down at her body and said, "Is it possible that this old body can carry a baby?" Sarah, not long before this, had her period, which she had not had for years. Shouldn't Sarah have realized that something weird just happened, and if Hashem gave me back my period, maybe my body will be able to carry a baby? How is it possible that Sarah did not make the connection? The answer. As we always say, the answer comes from within the question, which was Sarah had just had her period. How could she not have made the connection that Hashem started making miracles for her and her old body will be able to have a baby? The answer is that is the power of the Yetzer Hara that can prevent us from seeing the obvious. Sarah knew that she had just seen a miraculous change, but the Yetzer Hara prevented her from making the connection which caused her not to believe that Hashem could actually allow her to have a baby. The practical application. Hashem is always doing things for us and giving us messages about our actions. But many times the Yetzer Hara will not allow us to make the connection of what we see or what happened to us to the area that we need to change. We need to focus on and constantly analyze what happens to us to see to what they apply. As many times the connections are clear if we can only focus on them. Have a wonderful Shabbos and see you next week for Parshas Chaye Sarah.